Final Fantasy 13 already had pretty much a train wreck of a story in the first place, in the sense that the way they presented it wasn't that well told. A decent lore, but throwing in a bunch of characters at you with 20 different objectives against unknown and unexplained enemies, unless you read the most boring fucking data logs and all the time, isn't the best way of doing storytelling. So how do you make a story like that even more confusing? Easy. Just add in time travel and you get what the fuck type of story.
You wanted us to come here.
The gates link places and eras that are connected somehow.
Your story in this title is to take Noel and Sarah through time to stop the fall of Cocoon. Sounds simple enough, but of course you have the big baddie in the way, Caius. When you see a bunch of guest spots like Hope, Snow, and Lightning, you'll probably be happy, but really, honestly, they're in the game very little. What really gets crazy is going back to different time periods and revisiting the same place in the same time, but a whole different idea because of different circumstances, which is kind of cool in a way, but kind of confusing in other ways. The positives of Final Fantasy 13-2 story is the main enemy, Caius, is actually pretty interesting. Instead of having an all-out evil asshole bent on destroying the world like we always get, we get a guy who's almost kind of like a hero in some sense, trying to stop the time paradox himself in the timeline, but we have to consider him somewhat of a bad guy because, well, he keeps fighting Noel and Sarah. The voice acting is above average, but the dialogue is below average. Some of the most cringe-worthy lines I've ever heard in a fucking game are in Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 13-2. I don't understand why the writers aren't writing for an audience above the age of 13. We're the ones that grew up with Final Fantasy, not the new kids. Also, the whole time traveling thing just seems to be out of the blue. Final Fantasy 13 had nothing to do with it. And now Final Fantasy 13-2, we have Sarah, who couldn't even fight in the first title, and this mysterious Noel just going out of nowhere and going through all these different times. To be honest, it almost gets annoying at points because it seems that they're trying to fucking confuse you. The whole change the future, change the past. It's stupid. Really, the story is probably the weakest part of the entire game due to some terrible dialogue and weak storytelling. Fans of the first might enjoy seeing some of their characters return. However, anybody who's looking for a well-written story or is used to really good writing in their games now, you won't find in Final Fantasy 13-2.
I shall remember your pain. It will be carved in my heart, together with the memories of every other Yule, cursed to die this way.
Graphics are actually kind of a funny thing in this title. They're still up there with the best, no doubt, and the art design is actually strong in this game as well. The environments are gorgeous, and the special attacks, like the magic attacks, look amazing. Some of the art design for the characters are questionable, but I gotta give it credit. Besides Sarah's stupid fucking wardrobe and Noel's goddamn MC Hammer pants, everybody else looks pretty decent for a Final Fantasy game. However, the whole time playing, I can't help but think, damn, these textures aren't nearly as high quality as Final Fantasy 13. It seems that they focus more on the first title, but that's fine to me because everything else in terms of the graphic design is a hell of a lot better. So this is probably where the deciding factor is. There's either people that love the battle system of the last game or hate it. the gameplay stays largely the same when it comes to battling. Switching classes on the go and focusing on managing your attacks on certain enemy groups and basically making sure that you eventually stagger your enemy is the main objective still. Hasn't changed too much, but has made it quicker and easier to manage. I've enjoyed the battle system from the last game, so not changing it too much is good for me. The changes of this title are the following. The biggest change is using a monster as your third party member. When you're fighting in battle, sometimes after a battle you'll capture those monsters and then be able to use them in your party. On top of that, you'll even level the monsters, making them a powerful team member. I prefer the third party member of my RPG to be a human, but hey, it's not a bad addition. As long as you switch monsters and power them up equally, you should be mostly fine, though definitely wish there was a human. You know, the level up system is also different in this title. It's one big level up grid, but you'll want to place your points in certain areas carefully, because the further that you level up, the harder it is to level up. Meaning that if you level up a bunch of times in one class, if you ever want to level up the next class, it's going to cost you more points to level it up just one level. It's easier to max out one class in this game, but it's a lot harder to max out every class in this title. So pick which class that you want to specialize in wisely. The open world feel is a lot better too. Some newer fans of the series might be confused when they look at the map and they go, wow, that's still linear. Final Fantasy has never been about a huge open world map like Skyrim or some. No, it has areas that actually can be explored and people to talk to and towns to travel through. See, that's what Final Fantasy 13 didn't have at all. You walk in a straight line to the next cutscene, and it usually was a shitty cutscene. In its sequel, you can talk to people, do side quests, and find secrets. Much better. Small little differences can make a more enjoyable game. Final Fantasy 13-2 is proof of that. None of these changes are groundbreaking, but they will make the series more enjoyable with its gameplay sense. It hooks me right away, and that's important. Some people weren't a fan of the last game's battle system, so this game will not change your mind. But if you enjoyed the battle system of the last game, and you like exploring aspects, you'll most likely find this game a pretty nice improvement in the gameplay section.
Heads in the clouds, thinking self-sacrifice can somehow save everyone. But people die anyway.
Noel, I hope you don't get yourself killed.
Huh?
I gotta say, I enjoyed my time with Final Fantasy 13 too. I have to say, I was also pretty surprised. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the last Final Fantasy enough, but the more I thought about it, the less I liked the characters and the story. Whereas this one, that part really hasn't changed. Noel is decent, Sarah is annoying, and Caius is a decent enough main baddie. But the whole time traveling aspect is just stupid in the story sense. However, the gameplay wise, it's a lot of fun. Getting to visit different areas and different conditions is definitely cool, and for a fan of different environments and games, this is definitely a plus for me. The quick and fun battle system is back, the exploring from older titles is back, the leveling is much better in this game, the art design is a step in the right direction. However, let's slow down. With all the good, there has to be some bad, right, Whitey? Dumb dialogue once again is there. Wacky, fucking dumb story is there. No major change to the fighting system might turn people away, and it's kind of short on the story side. Now, before I get attacked by a bunch of fans, I'm talking about the story. It could be beat within actually like 20 to 25 hours. Though the good part is there is plenty of side quests and content to do afterwards, so don't worry about getting your money's worth. You're gonna get it here. I'll end my review with this. Fans of the last game will probably love this game. People who've played the last game and wanted some minor changes to the gameplay will probably be satisfied with this title. However, anyone who was turned off by the shitty dialogue or the story in the last game will probably be even more annoyed in this game. And if you didn't like the gameplay, do not pick it up. I still believe Final Fantasy 13 is a great title, but sometimes it wobbles from a pretty good title to a great, and a lot of the times I was on the board of giving it more of just a pretty good title. However, by the end game, I actually had to say that I enjoyed it, and I'm going to state it as a great game. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now, when can I get a Final Fantasy game and go, wow, it's amazing. I give it a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. Where is my Final Fantasy game on the same caliber as Final Fantasy 4 or 7 or 12? Where are they, Square? Where are they? Answer me, you bitch. Please get rid of your writer. Like, tomorrow.